Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time here, a warm welcome to you. If you're returning, I'm so glad to have you home. All right, today we're tapping into a no contact message from your person. I'll be pulling from the Energy Oracle deck to get a clear sense of what's going on in their heart, how they're feeling, how they see you, and what's really happening in this connection right now. But more than that, we're going to uncover those deeper, unspoken messages, the ones they may not be saying out loud, but are definitely feeling. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's open up to receive whatever it is that Spirit wants you to know. Let's get into it. As I shuffled the deck, the card that came through for us is the Hostilities card. Divine Feminine. Let's talk about this. This energy, it's thick. It's that feeling of tension, like there's a wall up, something defensive, something pushing back. And maybe that's exactly where some of you are right now. Almost like you're standing in the middle of something that doesn't fully make sense yet. Feeling like you're caught in a situation that's forcing you to pause, reflect, and maybe even protect your own energy. This card is showing me that there's a major energy shift happening. Someone, maybe you, maybe them, is feeling cornered, pressured, or even stuck. But here's the thing, this tension, it's pushing transformation. Whether expected or not, something is shifting. And if you've been in a period of no contact, it's almost like this person is morphing into a whole different version of themselves. But growth like this doesn't come easy. This isn't just about stepping into a better version. It's about facing demons, confronting truths, and breaking out of old patterns. Right now, you might feel like you're in this protective bubble, not really sure if you should lean in or pull away. And honestly, that's okay. This is a time for reflection, for seeing things for what they are, not just waiting for the storm to pass, but actually understanding what this storm is trying to show you. Because something has gone too far. And let's be real, there's a masculine energy here that might feel like they're out of your life. Maybe they've pulled back, maybe they've gone quiet. But make no mistake, their choices, especially one huge decision about you, is literally shaping their entire reality right now. Whether they see it or not, their actions have sent ripple effects through everything around them, setting off big shifts that are impossible to ignore. It's almost ironic. The same way this all started, through a choice, is the same way they're being pushed now. But instead of moving forward, they're stuck, frozen in place. The hesitation isn't just a little pause. It's a block, a wall, a full-on stop that's cutting off the flow between you two. And that feeling of being left hanging, you're not crazy for sensing it. There's this energy of unfinished business, of things just sitting there, unspoken, unresolved. And this masculine, they're deep in their head right now. They might not even realize how much you're still connected to all of this. But one thing is clear, they're about to. Because your energy, it's everywhere. They can feel it, even if they don't understand it yet. And that realization, it's coming. Imagine them, all caught up in their thoughts, thinking so much that they can't move. But they're getting a little push. Maybe your guides or some kind of higher power are trying to show that something about what's going on has just gone too far. This overthinking has led to no action at all, and it's really affecting your connection in a big way. What's more, the ripple effect of their decision is not just a background noise. It's becoming the main soundtrack of their daily life. The choices they made with regard to you are like stones thrown into a still pond, causing ripples that keep expanding, touching aspects of their life they didn't anticipate. Now they find themselves in a situation where every small decision seems monumental, every step fraught with consequences that trace back to that original choice about you. So, Divine Feminine, even if you feel distant, your energy is all over this. It's powerful, and it's steering them towards a realization, urging them to get moving. It feels like both of you need to see how deep and important this connection is, to grasp its bigger meaning and get ready for what's coming next. As they navigate their current standstill, your presence, though not physically close, casts a long shadow, influencing outcomes and decisions. They're slowly realizing that they can't ignore the pull of your shared history and the profound impact you have on their life's direction. This unfolding scenario is a testament to how intertwined your destinies have become, with each of their steps away from you actually bringing them full circle back to the lessons they need to learn with you. It's a cosmic dance of coming together and moving apart, where every separation is just a setup for a more meaningful reunion. All right, let's explore the next card, the 7th chakra. This is truly a fascinating vibe coming through. This card often symbolizes a deep spiritual connection and intuitive communication. It suggests that, although it might seem like your person is caught up in deep reflection and outward silence, their thoughts are incredibly intense and active. There's a mystical kind of energy surrounding how this masculine figure communicates with you. Divine Feminine, you might already sense this, or it could be something that's gradually becoming more apparent in your experience. While you two aren't speaking verbally, it's almost as if there's a vibrant conversation happening on a different plane, like your souls are engaged in a dialogue, discussing things that you're not yet ready to voice in your current stage of connection. This person, they're reaching out to you in ways that go beyond the usual, tapping deeply into the realm of the unseen. Right now, the third eye chakra is coming into play, which is all about that deep inner knowing. It's a kind of communication that isn't shouted but felt, an understanding that arrives not with words but through feelings and signs. This masculine energy is finding creative ways to connect with you, maybe through the lyrics of a song that strikes a chord, a dream that feels too real, or just a sudden insight that pops into your mind out of nowhere. And you know what? You might just wake up one morning and feel a message so strongly that it seems like it was always part of you, easy to understand without even trying. But I hear you might be doubting these whispers from the soul. It's not that the messages aren't reaching you. It's more about you wondering if they're really true. You're right to notice that they're communicating in ways that aren't their usual style. They're trying to tell you something important, something they can't quite put into words, perhaps because of where things stand between you two right now. And yes, it's a big deal that they're choosing this high vibe way to get through to you. It shows just how much they're evolving on their own spiritual path. Now, diving back into this vibe of uncertainty you might be feeling, it seems like they're a bit worried about whether you're really getting what they're trying to say. This type of high-level soul talking really clicks into place when you fully believe in it. So if you've been feeling doubtful because of where you are in your own journey, maybe you're feeling a bit disconnected or skeptical, it could make these spiritual messages harder to grasp, harder to trust. And isn't it intriguing how, when we open ourselves to these subtler frequencies, the universe begins to communicate in ways that are less about the noise and more about the quiet nudges. These nudges are gentle, yet they carry profound meanings that resonate with the core of our beings. The masculine is reaching out through these vibrations, trying to bridge the gap between what was and what could be, using the silent language of the soul. It's a delicate dance of energy, where every intuition and felt sense becomes a part of a larger conversation. It's as if you're both part of a mystical dialogue, orchestrated by the cosmos itself, where the spoken word falls short and the unspoken truths speak louder. This new method of communication might feel alien at first, as it requires you to trust not only what you hear, but what you feel deep within your soul. And wow, you might even think this masculine has drifted out of your life, but I'm feeling they're very much present. What's tricky is that they're trying to reach out in a way that's different from before. If they used to connect through more straightforward, maybe even more earthly ways, and now it's all changed, it could definitely throw you off. Divine Feminine, you're sensing this shift. You might just be trying to piece together whether what you're picking up is the real deal, because the energy beneath these messages has transformed. So here's the thing, you're navigating this new way of connecting, trying to align with these changes and figure out if what you're feeling and experiencing holds true. It's all part of your journey, this dance of intuition and reality, where you learn to trust the unseen just as much as the seen. All right, let's see what our next message is. Divine Feminine. We've drawn the Man Holding a Heart card. This card really dives deep into your person's emotional state right now. It seems they've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, reflecting deeply on their feelings and how they've been interacting in your relationship. They're realizing it now. They're not the same person you first met. Something has shifted, and they can feel it deep inside. And here's the thing. This is someone who takes pride in being a little hard to read, in keeping people guessing, especially when it comes to feminine energy. They don't like to be figured out. They don't like to be predictable. But with you, everything's different. Suddenly they're feeling everything, waves of emotions they never let anyone see. Usually they keep things surface level, controlled, guarded. But you cracked something open. Now they're sitting there, tangled up in their own feelings, wondering how they let this happen. How did they let their guard down so easily with you? How did you slip past the walls they've spent years building? There's something about your presence, something that makes them open up in ways they've never done before. Instead of playing it cool, instead of staying distant, they're finding themselves drawn into deep conversations, soul-level connections, moments that actually mean something. This isn't how they usually do things, especially not with women. And now, they're wondering if they've let you see too much. I don't know what you've been hearing from them lately, but whatever it is, it's deep. They're revealing parts of themselves they usually keep locked away. Whether they realize it or not, they've handed you the map to their soul. And now, they're overthinking everything. Did they say too much? Did they show too much? They've never been this exposed before, and it's making them hesitate, second guess, even pull back. And that's what's throwing them off, the comfort, the way their energy just settles when they're around you. They've never felt this before. And now they're taking a step back, not because they don't want this, but because it's real. It's different. And for the first time, they're not in control of it. In their eyes, you stand apart, divine feminine, and while this revelation shocks them, it's not unwelcome. They're just staggered by the depth of their own feelings, trying to figure out how to navigate this new terrain. It's like they're at a standstill, forced to ponder over their next steps. And it's not until they make sense of this overwhelming connection that they feel they can really act. They need to align their thoughts and emotions comprehensively before they feel ready to move forward. They're in a state of introspection, really digging deep, and you can bet they're feeling the pull to get this right, because honestly, your influence is profound, and it's reshaping how they interact with their own emotions and intentions. They're not just stuck. They're preparing for a leap that could redefine everything. This isn't merely about deciding to step forward. It's about stepping up to meet the version of themselves that you've unknowingly called forth. With each moment of hesitation, they're actually gathering strength, like the quiet pullback of a bow before launching an arrow. Divine feminine, your presence in their life isn't just felt. It's transformative, urging them to become more, to rise to the occasion of their own potential. So while they might seem distant or stagnant, trust in the unseen progress, the inner work that's setting the stage for a beautiful unveiling of renewed connection and shared growth. All right, let's dive into this next message, which feels incredibly focused on a very specific feminine presence. I just got the Deceit card. This is a strong vibe I'm picking up from your person, Divine Feminine. It seems they're really pondering how to reconnect with you, carrying the weight of some unresolved feelings. They entered this relationship perhaps not entirely upfront, or with certain expectations hidden beneath the surface. This energy, it's a lot. But let's break it down together. What's coming through so strongly is this masculine energy. Someone who had a very specific vision of how things between you were supposed to go. They had a plan. But the thing is, as everything started to unfold, it became clear that something wasn't lining up. It's like the two of you were looking at the same picture, but through completely different lenses. Maybe you wanted different things. Maybe your expectations clashed. Maybe it wasn't even something either of you said out loud. Just this quiet tension that started building. This unspoken feeling in the air. And now, they're stuck. Sitting in this energy, overthinking, analyzing, wondering how they're supposed to move forward. They didn't expect to be here, in this space of distance, of uncertainty. They're reflecting on everything, replaying moments in their head, wondering how to bridge the gap between what they wanted and what actually happened. But here's what's really interesting. This isn't just any connection. There's something deeply spiritual at play. This person doesn't just see you, they feel you. They pick up on your energy, your shifts, your emotions, even the things you don't say out loud. They've tuned into you in a way they can't explain. And the truth, they've fallen for that energy. Hard. Now, here's where things get even more layered. When they first stepped into this, they had a whole idea of what it was going to be, how they were going to experience this connection with you. But being apart, it's flipped everything upside down. That's where this intense hangman energy is coming from. They walked into this with a plan, a strategy, a vision. But now, none of it makes sense anymore. And this is what's standing out the most. Their focus was never about just putting a label on this connection. That was never the priority for them. What mattered was the bond itself, making sure they created something with you that couldn't be broken, something that would last no matter where life took you both. But the way they went about it, that might have made you question everything. It might have made you wonder if they were holding back, if they were hiding something, if they were afraid of commitment. This masculine brought a fast-paced, dynamic energy into your connection. They were open, expressive, sharing parts of themselves in ways they don't usually do. But here's the thing, it was intentional. It wasn't random, it wasn't accidental. There was a reason behind it. This isn't how they usually are with people. With you, it just felt right. It felt natural. It felt like something they couldn't resist. And maybe even they don't fully understand why. But deep down, they've always known one thing for sure. They needed to stay connected to you, no matter what. Divine Feminine, imagine this. Even when you're right across from each other, even when you're chatting away, there's a whole universe of energy buzzing, swirling around and between you. It's like your spirits are crafting, creating, and expanding something incredible beyond just words. This vibrant energy was how your person invited both of you to really open up, to be free and genuine with one another. It was their way of drawing you closer, of weaving themselves deeply into the fabric of your life before taking any formal steps forward. And you, Divine Feminine, might find yourself puzzling over why this masculine approached you with such intention, why they leaned into you in that particular way. Well, here's the heart of it. They saw the potential for something extraordinary, something worth nurturing right from the start. They felt compelled to lay a strong, enduring foundation with you before anything else. Their approach might have seemed unique, even peculiar, but beneath it all, they cherished the process of getting to know you intimately. If you've ever suspected they had a motive, you're right, they did, but it's not what you might think. They were aiming to elevate your experience of connection to heights unmatched by any past relationships, though their methods might have surprised you. Now, as they reflect on the past, there's a longing in their heart, a wish that you had trusted their unique process. They didn't place this relationship in the usual boxes or categories. Instead, they saw it as something unparalleled, a relationship not to be measured by conventional standards. And perhaps the different views on how to kickstart this connection contributed to the space that grew between you. As they look back, there's a real hope stirring in their heart that you might understand and appreciate why they navigated the way they did. They came into this bond with a clear vision, a blueprint for something remarkable with you, even though it veered away from your expectations or what you were accustomed to in love. This difference in approach might not have been openly talked about, leading to some unexpected turns. Picture this. Both of you in the same room, sharing the same space. Yet your souls are engaged in a much deeper, almost mystical conversation. It's as though you're in two worlds at once, physically together, but spiritually exploring vast new territories. Divine Feminine, this isn't just energy. It's high-level, life-changing magic unfolding. It's complex, profound, and full of potential, influencing the path ahead for both of you, even in moments of silence. So, Divine Feminine, as you navigate this intricate dance of connection, remember the power of the unseen, the unspoken, as it continues to shape your journey together. All right, let's dive into what's coming through. The card we drew is the Door to Spirit. This is profoundly intriguing because it reflects the essence of your situation. It seems like this person feels as though they were held back from reaching out to you by a higher power. The timing of this restraint puzzles them, especially considering that previously, it seemed all signs were green for them to move forward quickly in your relationship. Divine Feminine, they're starting to see that back when they were completely honest and open with you, nothing stood in their way. Because their actions were aligned with their true spiritual path, the door was wide open. Their approach and the plans they made came from a place of truth, driven by the spirit within. However, it appears that when they began to act on these plans, perhaps the way it was perceived by you wasn't how they intended. This misalignment might now be the very thing they're reflecting on, trying to understand how what felt like spiritual guidance might have been misinterpreted. They were straightforward from the get-go. They wanted to move fast, open up quickly, and they hoped you'd respond in kind. This urgency was their way of initiating something meaningful, a way to plant seeds in fertile spiritual ground. Divine Feminine, these seeds have been growing, subtly changing how you perceive your connection. As they reflect on this, they're likely hoping you might understand and appreciate their rush, not as haste, but as a guided push towards something deeper and spiritually aligned. Even though you and your person are apart, the real glue holding them to you is honesty. This masculine truly believes in the truth they shared with you, but they're starting to see that maybe their own thoughts played a big part in creating this distance. Now they're spending time alone, really thinking things through, almost as if they're putting your connection under a microscope and asking the higher powers, if this is truly meant to be, why didn't you stop me from stepping away? It seems like they can't reach you right now, so they're turning inward, reflecting deeply. I'm picking up on some frustration and a bit of anger too, because there's been this push and pull in your connection, and it feels like it's all about timing, when things will happen, what they want to do next. And a big part of their frustration is feeling like they didn't have the right guidebook on how to navigate this journey with you. Because, let's face it, when you're meant to walk this path with someone, there really is no separation. The person you're with mirrors you in so many ways. And get this, Divine Feminine, all those emotions they're feeling, they're starting to find their way to you in the most unexpected ways, through dreams, signs, or even your own emotions, especially if you're really in tune with your own energy. This connection, it's deep, it's real, and it talks in ways beyond the ordinary, especially when you're apart. But there's a lot of questioning going on. Your person is wondering if they were wrong, if they gave too much, moved too fast. And you might be feeling the same, reflecting on these questions too. It's like there's this mirror between you two, reflecting thoughts and feelings back and forth in really surprising ways. And about this conversation they're having with their higher power, they're really questioning why they weren't stopped from pursuing this path with you. The answer they're getting is pretty clear. Everything they did was driven by sincerity and real intention. And right now, that honesty, that's what's giving them a bit of peace amidst all the confusion. They stood in their truth, and even if things looked a bit messy or there were disagreements, at the end of the day, they were true to themselves and to you. Isn't that just something? This reading is unfolding into something truly beautiful, showing just how powerful and profound your connection really is. All right, let's pull one last message, and wow, this one is powerful. The final card that came through is the Thinking Man. Just take that in for a second. How does that make you feel? Because honestly, this whole reading has been such a beautiful confirmation. Divine Feminine, I know you've been wondering. You've been feeling the distance, sensing the shifts, and maybe there's been this little voice in the back of your mind asking, are they really taking this time apart seriously? Are they healing? Are they learning? Maybe you've even caught yourself thinking about external influences, other people, distractions, anything that could be pulling them away from their path, from you. But here's what's coming through loud and clear. They are thinking about you. A lot. This card is showing that they're in deep reflection. Even if they're silent, even if they're distant, their mind is circling back to this connection over and over again. They are analyzing everything, what went wrong, what they could have done differently, and most of all, why they still feel you so strongly. Yes, this masculine may have approached this connection in a way that felt completely different from what you expected. Maybe it didn't follow the usual steps, and at times it might have even felt confusing or frustrating. But here's the thing, they don't believe in replacing you. That's just not part of how they see love, how they see this connection. No matter what's happening in the physical, this connection is one of a kind, and they know it. And right now, they're sitting with that truth, processing it, feeling it in a way they probably never have before. So, if you've been wondering if they're out there just moving on, looking for something or someone to fill your space, this is your reminder. There is no space to fill. You are still there. You always have been. And deep down, they know it too. Let's get one thing straight. There was never a moment, not even for a second, where this person thought they could replace you. Never. No detours, no distractions, no out of sight, out of mind. That has never been the case here. From the moment they met you, they knew. There's only one you. And that's something they've carried with them, whether they've said it out loud or not. So if you've been wondering, if there's been any part of you questioning your place in their heart, this is your confirmation, Divine Feminine. And what's interesting about this energy is the honesty that's coming through. It's raw, it's real. This masculine isn't hiding from it anymore. Yeah, maybe they're out in the world, being social, crossing paths with new faces, shaking hands, engaging with different energies, but none of it sticks. No one compares. It's like they keep looking, keep searching, but everywhere they go, it just reminds them of you. And here's why, because your bond is on another level. This isn't just some surface attraction or passing connection. Your energy is woven into them. They are tied to your frequency. So much so that even if they tried to move on, even if they tried to disconnect, they wouldn't be able to. And let's be real for a second. You are not someone who chases. You don't go to people, they come to you. And your person knows this. That's part of the stillness, part of this energy of them holding back. They know they have to be the one to make the move. Because you, Divine Feminine, you embody High Priestess energy. You walk with wisdom. You carry divine knowing. You don't just live in this world, you understand it. You speak the language of the universe. And that changes the way you see everything, the way you see people, the way you see this connection. And this masculine feels that. This isn't just any connection, it's sacred. There's something about this bond that both of you hold in such high regard, something neither of you want to mishandle. And even if there's distance right now, there's an unspoken respect between you both for how this space is being held. But make no mistake, this isn't ordinary. It never has been. This is a connection tied to the higher realms, a connection guided by forces neither of you can fully comprehend just yet. And right now, that truth is unfolding, revealing itself to both of you in ways you never expected. And the more this connection unfolds, the more everything is going to start making sense for both of you. But what's really standing out in this reading is just how powerful this connection actually is. Because of the way you and this masculine are linked on a soul level, the way you interact in the physical, it's intense, it's magnetic, it's undeniable. And sometimes it's triggering, not in a bad way, but in a way that forces growth. This connection is on a whole different level. When you start tapping into the higher chakras, it's like you can read each other's minds. You just know when they want to talk to you. You can feel when they're thinking about you. You sense when they're telling the truth, when they're holding back. There's literally no in-between. And that kind of intensity, it's overwhelming. So the way this masculine copes, they pull back, and usually at the most unexpected times. But here's the thing, it's never random. The energy coming through is telling me that when they do this, it's not to walk away, it's to process, to gain clarity, to see things from a new perspective, to get out of their head and tune into their higher power. There is never a moment when this person feels truly separate from you, and that's what they want you to know. No matter what's happening in the physical right now, no matter how things look on the outside, you and this person, you are still facing the same direction. They might be moving a little slower than you, maybe feeling a little stuck, but that's because they're using this time to really get clear before they take their next step towards you. They're reworking their approach, rethinking their plan, because this connection, it's not something they take lightly. This bond between you, it's sacred to them. And whether or not they've ever said that out loud, they've been telling you through energy, through signs, through every little telepathic moment that leaves you wondering, was that real? Yes, it's real. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. So, if you've been waiting for a sign, for a little confirmation from the universe, this is it. Trust what you're feeling. Pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the little nudges that keep showing up. They mean something. This is their way of keeping the connection strong, their way of helping you tune in to where their energy is at this very moment. And right now, they're in a much lighter place. They're stepping into truth, into clarity, into something real. So, I'm going to leave the reading here, but if this resonated with you, don't forget to hit that like button before you go. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a message meant for you. Thank you so much for being here, love. I appreciate you more than you know. Sending you all my love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.